What's going on, y'all? It's your boy A Dave. It's the first episode of Pels in the Blender. Just want to come in and touch base with y'all a little bit on a lot that's been going on, man. The Pels fan base been booming lately. So much so that I felt like, man, it's been feeling like it's just need to go ahead and get out here and jump in with everybody. So kind of want to touch base with a little bit who I am. I'm just A Davis. Y'all might see me in some of the Pro Pels chats, some of the spaces that Rocky and them host, a couple people. And a lot of people been kind of pushing, to go ahead and get something done. So I've been sitting on it for a little bit, but I'm kind of excited about it. So this will be the first episode. We got the draft tonight. I'm excited about it. I kind of want to start off a little bit talking about the most recent Pels news. Obviously, we had the big trade, the CJ for, and you kind of keep an eye out on Twitter, well X these days. News is coming in fast. Literally just recently, the Pels been linked to the Hornets, seeming about possibly trading up to 4 using 7 and 23. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, especially if it's for Ace Bailey, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But what we do know is the Pels have been extremely aggressive, um, which I think is a good thing. Everybody been kind of wanting the Pels to be aggressive in whether you're tearing it down or you building it up. So I kind of think this is a good move for the Pels to kind of get started, and see how things shake out. So we got about 28 minutes before the draft gets started. So we'll kind of break down some of the stuff that's going on. So let's go ahead and discuss the CJ the CJ and Kelly for Poole and Sadiq Bey trade. Um, the first aspect I guess I want to look at it from is what CJ meant to the Pelicans. And I understand what CJ brought, the professionalism and all of that people want to talk about, and all of that's cool. But I kind of want to stick to CJ on the court. CJ on the court was extremely productive. He was available, and CJ did the best he could with the situation that he was in. If if you've heard me talk, or if you've kind of seen me in a couple of these spaces, I'm real big on situations. Like, I think the situations you in can make or break most players, or you have to be a next level talent to overcome your situation. So CJ was brought here to be a third option. You know what I mean? And for the most part, he was put in situations where he either had to be the number two or the number one. So it's kind of unfair to criticize CJ for some of his performances. I'll say when he was here, when he was brought here to do one thing and ended up having to do another. Now that don't mean we can't criticize him. And I was one of the big people on, criticizing CJ's game, shot selection at times, um, sometimes not deferring when need be, but you got to give respect to CJ for changing his shot profile and everything that he did to help his team and be as productive as he was. So thankful for CJ and a lot of the things that he did. He definitely upped the level of the team. When he got here, they immediately became a play-in team. They made the playoffs twice. He played in those playoffs, which, you know, obviously, our stars, well, our main star wasn't available for the playoffs. So all of that was a big deal. So big up to CJ. I think losing CJ is somewhat of a somewhat of a loss, but at the same time, it's kind of like CJ with the expiring, what we were gonna do anyway. I'm not really sure what kind of move we were gonna make with CJ specific. With CJ, excuse me, with CJ specifically, because I don't think we were gonna extend CJ. So you had to move CJ for something, right? Um, Now personally, I like Jordan Poole. I was one of the ones kind of thinking that Jordan Poole was out in Washington, and based on the salary, I thought Jordan Poole would have been a good match for a team like the Pelicans. We talk a lot about being able to find players below below their value, and hopefully you could kind of recreate some of that value when they get here. Um, that's part of anything. You want to buy low and sell high. In this case with Jordan Poole, when Jordan Poole was in Golden State, previous to going to Washington, Jordan Poole, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like he was an all-star level talent or anything like that, but Jordan Poole was a pretty good commodity in the league before the incident took place that kind of shook everything with Jordan Poole, and he hadn't really rebounded with that. They ship him to Washington, and you get, and again, I mentioned earlier talking about situations. I think Washington was one of the worst situations for a player like that to get shipped to. A team that's trying to lose because they're looking to get picks. There's a bunch of young players over there, and he's a young player. Jordan Poole coming there doing what? Expected to lead that team? No, they weren't trying to win in the first place. So I think it took Jordan Poole some time to like kind of find himself. And I know some people question, hey, whether Jordan Poole's a starter, is he a six man? Which I think the upside to Jordan Poole is you can use Jordan Poole either way. You saw he could be effective on the bench, and he didn't mind being a six man, and he could be effective as a starter. So I think that's the perfect type of player that you need in this particular situation. Also, if you are going to play him as a starter, he brings you the shooting. He's averaging 20 a game. He only shoots 15 shots a game. So that's exciting as well. I mean, you're not really losing much from what CJ, from a production standpoint, was actually producing on the floor. I think Jordan Poole is more of a playmaker. He could get into the paint. He could finish around the rim. I think he's a better passer than CJ at this point. So I think those things work well. And you needed to get a little bit more athletic. Not saying that Jordan Poole is just some extreme athlete, but he's more athletic than CJ. He's probably more athletic than Jordan Hawkins from a, you know what I mean? Like being able to beat his man one-on-one. And you need those kind of players, especially in the Willie Green offense. You need players that's going to be able to put the ball on the floor, create for themselves, create for others. Somebody who their game isn't predicated on the system necessarily. And I think this situation, Poole will be a little bit, I think Poole will be able to thrive a little bit more because, again, you do have Zion, you do have Trey. And if Trey takes the steps that we think, and Zion is what it looked like at the end of the season, then Poole as a third option, we'll see what happens in the draft tonight, but Poole as a third option really isn't that bad. I think he's also going to bring some excitement to the Smoothie King Center. And I think as fans, that's kind of what you want. You don't want to go to the game and it's boring in there. Like I'm looking forward to being in there and seeing somebody, hit from 35 feet or cross somebody, take them to the lane and drop somebody off. Pause. So I just think I think the Poole pickup is a much better pickup than what people were giving it credit for, because who hasn't had ups and downs recently in Washington? Not many players, other than Russell Westbrook, who's a Hall of Famer, was able to go over there and really produce lately. Other than that, sometimes you need a fresh start, and I think this will be a fresh start. Jordan Poole has in store once he gets here. That's even if he gets here. It's a possibility that Jordan Poole will be rerouted, but I highly doubt that. When you think about it, one of the main things that it looks like the Pels are doing, and we'll see this with and I'll kind of dive into this a little bit too, as far as like who the Pels are targeting with some of their picks, but it looks like most of the players that they're bringing in, even from the front office standpoint, and a lot of people are kind of reporting on it from a front office standpoint, from the maybe not the coaches, not just yet, but maybe the coaching is why Willie still have a gig. But we gotta understand that Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, those ties to Troy Weaver, and why I think if when they decide, hey, we're reshaping this team, they're reshaping the team with players that they know, people that they know, and they know exactly what to expect from those guys. So I think when you bring in people you know, it kind of makes it a little bit easier for you to judge what's going on from there. Hold on for a second. So everybody's talking about the pick and the possible trading up right now, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll wait to see if that news drops with the Pels going to from 7 to 4. Um, I'll be honest. If it's for Ace, I'm not sure I'm doing that. Um, but let's kind of dive in a little bit into some of the targets as well. Um, we're kind of looking at the reports lately have been about Ace. Well, Fears is one of mine. He's been projected at 7. Queen lately, Queen today has been heavily projected, which if it's Queen for a second, for the Troy Weaver DC connections, that also makes sense a little bit, and Malawat. So looking at Ace as a prospect, if Ace is there at 7, obviously a lot of people talk about him. You take, I think you. Oh man, I don't even know if I take him, to be honest. Like if I'm sitting there on the clock thinking about it, I'm not sure, because let's say I got Ace and I got Fears. I'm on the Fears bandwagon because I think this team needs a lead guard that's going to be here, cause control for a extended period of time that you can build behind and that you can roll with. So I'm in the camp of Fizz, and I think Utah putting it out there that they want Fizz, or Washington might take Aces, kind of forcing the Pelicans' hand to a degree. But I hope they stay patient in this one. But I don't know. We'll see. Um, but if Ace is there at 7, I mean, when Ace came out, Ace was a top prospect. They were projecting him to be 1 or 2 with Cooper. And Cooper obviously performed much better in college, but also that's, in my opinion, that's situational as well. Um, Cooper going to Duke and Ace going to Rutgers, I think it's I think you kind of have Cooper set up to be more successful. I felt like that program was more stable, better surrounding players, better surrounding cast. Um, and those types of programs tend to they're a machine, man. Like they produce players on that level. Um, Ace, on the other hand, I think I'm not sure. Again, this is just my opinions with everything. Right, I'm not sure the Rutgers coach is. It didn't seem like they were coached that well, in my opinion. Um, Respectfully, it didn't seem like they just had the most talented team at Rutgers to help bolster what it was that Ace and Dylan did as well, because they both catch a lot of slack for all of the losing that they did. But that doesn't mean that Ace isn't as talented. When you cut on some of the tape, yeah, he had some bad shots and stuff like that. But man, Ace has superstar potential, which I kind of understand. The athleticism, being able to make tough shots. He does take a lot of tough and bad shots, man. But if you could get to him early, the right situation, I think you could see Ace. I think you can see Ace turn into a real star. So I understand the appeal from a Pelican standpoint, especially if you don't know if Zion's going to be here in a year or two, what your team's going to look like. So do you want the best talent available? Absolutely. You have to take the most swings on the most talented people, in my opinion. Um, so that's Ace. Lately, they've been linked to Queen at 7, and a lot of people feel like that's a stretch. especially with the reports coming out about Queen's workouts. I am not sure exactly how I feel about that, because initially when the draft process started, I was Queen at 7. Like if the Pels would have took Queen at 7, I'm I'm completely happy with that pick, and that was when they had one pick. So to walk away with that player at the time felt like it would have been a win. Now I don't know exactly, and it's not like anything changed, and that's the part about the draft that's so it's so concerning to a degree, man. It makes you a little bit uncomfortable because so much posturing happens, so many reporting and people throwing out stories that to kind of diminish the value of some of the players. Some of the players diminishing their own value, so they go in certain spots. It's just kind of, man, it's kind of unfortunate how it works. So again, regarding Queen, the DC connection to Troy Weaver, it seems like that might be their guy. And if so, is that a good choice? I mean, the guy's very skilled. I think he has a high IQ. Um, he produced. He seemed like he was able to rebound. I mean, I don't know about the fit necessarily next to Zion, but if you take whoever you take at 7, in my opinion, has to play. Not only do they have to play, I'm almost of the mindset they need to start. Um, And do you worry about fit? Is that the most talented guy? Some people have him as the most skilled player in the draft. Maybe not the most skilled player in the draft, but one of the most skilled players in the draft, no doubt. So it's just going to be interesting to kind of see what happens and how these things turn out when you really have no clue of what they think they want to do, or maybe they know exactly what they want to do. Is trading up a good idea? I'm not sure. Now, personally, I like Jeremiah Fizz, and I'll tell you why. I think Jeremiah Fizz has the ability to get to the rim. I think he can develop into a really good shooter slash playmaker. I like a player being like, he wasn't on a stacked team at Oklahoma, and that team performed pretty well. He performed in the SEC with a lot of tough competition, and I personally think that Jeremiah Fizz, his upside and how young he is. I know a lot of people talking about how young Cooper is, but Jeremiah Fizz being that young as well also makes me feel like he could be the guy that the Pelicans should go with. If I'm making the pick, I think it's Jeremiah Fizz. Now, the thing I kind of been debating since that they are talking about trading up. If Utah is really, and it could just be posturing again, but if Utah is really projected to take Fears at 5, I wonder if it's worth trading up to 4 to take Fears. If you giving up 23, if you feel like that's your guy, and again, a lot of people talked about it being aggressive and stuff like that. Um, Being aggressive and being able to go up and get your guy, if you believe that that's who it is, then I'm I'm okay with it. To be honest, I like the aggressive mindset that they've had since they got here. Swapping the pick to get the next year's indie pick to take this year's indie pick, I'm okay with. Um, and also, if they decide to move that pick, I'm okay with it too. I feel like this draft has so many teams with multiple picks that even if you have to use the 40 and something else, then you'll be able to get up if you see the draft board falling you know falling in an appealing way to you, I guess. Man, it's kind of interesting to see exactly what's going on. So the only thing I will talk about the draft a little bit for a second as well is like my opinion of having to follow. like the entire time, and I guess Woj kind of started this when the draft picks would be announced right before the pick is actually made, kind of lose like has the draft losing its luster a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Um, but yeah, man, these reports coming out, Pels looking to move up to 4. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel too much about that. Mm, so I don't know. I guess my main thing I kind of want to look out for is who the Pels, as the draft starts to break, when I wouldn't make none of these moves like too early, I guess. Like, do you, if you are going to trade up to 4, do you trade up to 4 before the draft starts? Like, do you let, and if you're trying to take, I guess you have to have a solid report that Philly is not taking Ace. Even though he blew the workout and all of that, you have to know for sure that he's not taking Ace to even think about trading up if that's your guy. Because if you trade up before the draft starts, you use your picks to trade up before the draft starts. You go to 4, and then they take him at 3. Like, if that's the guy, does that make sense? I'm not sure. So that kind of makes me feel like that either for sure, we know what the first 2 picks are with Cooper and Dylan. Are we sure that they're going to take Ace, or that they won't take Ace at 3? Is it VJ? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Sitting here watching the guys come out and everything. Man, this first round seems tough because you could possibly trade back. And then also I'm thinking like, nah, what about if they take, like, Kaman Malawak's been discussed as well. I'm not the biggest fan of taking Kaman Malawak at 7. But man, what if they traded up to take Kaman Malawak at 4? Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess that's a possibility. They say they like him a lot, and if you think the Hornets are going to take him and you want to get your big, is that something that you consider? I know a lot of people was questioning his toughness and his heart with everything from the Final Four run when he didn't do well with the rebounding and stuff like that. But the guy is huge. Pause. you know, I see in a lot of comps. Some people say that he projects to be a bigger Serge Ibaka. Is that guy you willing to? Is that a player you're willing to take at 7 or 4 if you do trade up? I'm not sure. Here's another question I guess I have, because I always do like these thought experiments as I'm watching. Like, a lot of stuff is just kind of constantly running through your mind. You kind of got to keep showing your name, bro. School you and Jordan Poole's a C-level player. I don't think Poole is a C-level player, but I guess that depends on which your level of C-level player is. Um, man, sitting there watching these entrances and whatnot. I'm sitting there trying to think about if how the Pelicans actually feel about. It's so much posturing, man. I hate this time of year, and I kind of understand it to a degree, but basketball is so situational. Like, you really could be a good player and go to a tough situation and it not do well for you. Um, as the guy, oh man, I honestly don't want any of the Duke players other than if it would have been Cooper. That's one thing. And if you're willing to trade up to four, I wonder what the cost was because they said they that the teams reached out to the Spurs about trading up to two. I wonder what the cost would have been to trade up to two. Those are the kind of things that go to my mind. Like, what if it was, I don't know, Herb 7, 23, and something else? Is that worth going to two? Do you think Dylan Harper's that kind of talent? I don't know because lately I've been getting a lot of people have been having mixed reviews about Dylan as well. And then there's supposed to be a lot of trade activity happening in this particular draft. I'm wondering when that actually starts. It might be us at it might be us at four. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I wonder if they drafting for. I wonder what's the strategy depending on what they draft. Are we drafting for fit? Are they taking best player available? Who exactly they view as the best player available? Are they drafting based on connection? Who they feel the most comfortable with. I wonder if somebody come in last idea. You know, I tell you what, man. If we keep 23, on a target at 23. Good old Danny Wolf. I think 7 feet, ball handler, shooting. I think when you watch the finals and the playoffs, I think what it let you know is that most teams that were successful had the most available players. Acquire talent at all costs. Yeah, I do think it's time to acquire talent at all costs. I do think it's time to acquire talent at all costs. But whose idea of talent is that? Like, is that Ace? Is that come on? Like, what do we consider talent at all costs? But because everybody's views of talent is different. I don't know. I think Ace might be the most one of the most talented players in this draft. So do you trade up to take him and just say we're gonna figure it out? That's possible. Hmm. I'll say this. I just know that I'm excited that we even in this position because initially we weren't projected to take none of these players. If the season would have went well, realistically, we probably would have been a first. Let's say everybody would have been healthy. We'd have had a first, maybe a first at best, a second round loss. You'd be drafting in the back of the first round or something like that, and you still you still have to figure out what you're doing again. So at least in this situation, we was able to move up, and you're more than likely going to get a talented player that can come in and help you. So that is a version of adding talent. I think most of the players available at 7 will probably be arguably the best player on our bench, maybe, or at least they should be. At least they should be. You know what? Man, I wish we could just do the whole draft in one day. It's not like the NFL when you got 7 rounds, man. I don't like the idea of them changing it. Or if you was gonna do it, just do the lottery. Just do the lottery. Those top 15, get that out the way, and then let that roll. But man, it's gonna be interesting. It's crazy when you watch a draft, you kind of gotta keep your phone in hand. It's about to go down. All right. So obviously we know Cooper's going number 1. That's not going to be anything exciting to look at. So I guess we're going to just have to wait it out and see what happens the rest of the way. Cooper with this boring blue suit. I like it. Man, I want these dudes to take fears, bro. I'm not going to lie. I just think, and when if we take fifth, I personally think this team needs a legit point guard. I personally don't think that Poole is a point guard. I think he's a combo guard anyway. So being able to put him at the two, really, I think makes your offense dynamic. I'm also interested to see what happened with if there are any trades. Do do we see the Herb move? Do we see a Hawk move? Do we see any of those other role? Well, Herb is a role player, but he's a star in his role. But I wonder if we see any of the role players move for the Pels tonight as well to kind of get back into the first round or move up. Let's say you was trying to go up from 23 to 13 or 11 or one of those picks to take Queen. Do you have to attach one of the players to one of those? That's interesting to me. And we know everything in the NBA is a relationship business. Do Bryson being in Atlanta comes into play at some point? I'm interested to see what happens there as well. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, man. If we take Ace, I ain't mad. I ain't mad. You go watch the tape of Ace. Ace a dog. Yeah, he got some flaws, but every player's got flaws. It's one of those things where if you maximize and that dude hit his ceiling, he arguably could be the best player in this draft. And I think you got to take a chance on that. Oh, my bad, my bad. Oh, hold on. Oh, oh, my bad. A little technical difficulty. Mm. I also don't think these teams need that much time on the clock when their times do come up to draft. Like for the most part, they all know they know who they take, and I think it's more so about getting on those phones and having time to make these deals if they need be. But it's always a lot of talking about what might happen, but then nothing actually happens. So we'll see how aggressive these teams are going to be, and especially those Pels, man. Let's go. I'm excited. And then just another kind of not off topic necessarily, but we know OKC just won the championship. I seen a lot of people talking about OKC as the model and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, you wanna model after OKC, but at the same time, man, they have a lot of that dude had a lot. Sam Presti had a lot of leeway to be able to build that team the way that he did. A lot of GMs don't have those types of that type of flexibility, and some of them don't even have those type of philosophies. So I'm wondering what kind of flexibility does Joe Dumas have with this particular team? I know he says he came in and they want to win and they want to compete, but he also didn't say that we were going for the championship today. He did say one goal. He didn't say this year. everything that they've been showing so far, that they've been extra aggressive, and I like that. Like I said, we'll see. Sometimes aggressiveness could bite you though. There you go. Dallas with the number one pick, man. How messed up is that? This and I'm gonna lie, I used to be a heavy Dallas fan, man. Was a Dirk fan, one of my favorite players, the greatest championship run ever. Luca fan. 5 minutes ain't too bad. They get rid of they get rid of Luca, I'm out. Especially the way they did it. Cost them 100 mil. I can't do it. I'm also let y'all know more on these shows going forward. I'm a very emotional fan. So like post games, post draft, post move, like the energy is typically always up, man. Whether we when we win, when we lose, depending on how we win, players we bring in. Um, and while I have people that I want them to take, as far as I want them to draft Jeremiah Fizz, whoever they decide to draft, I'm on board with. You almost can't go wrong, to be honest. Like this team needs so much talent in so many different positions. Like it really doesn't matter who you take. Everybody could help. I'm just interested to see how we go about it. I don't, and I hope they don't wait the whole time to make this pick. Like we know who the pick is. Just come on and send it in. And ooh, I don't know why I'm acting like this with pick one, pick two. We already know what those gonna be. So I don't know. It's the excitement, man. You sit there when your season is over, you sitting there for months. Season was over in April. So we've been sitting there all this time waiting on something to happen, anything to happen. You finally get a little bit of hope now. And that's what the draft is, selling hope. I'm still kind of torn too. I like Trey Johnson. What if Trade at 7? If we stay at 7. I gotta keep saying if we stay at 7. I seen some of the comps for trade people talking about Michael Redd. I don't I don't necessarily see that just because he's a shooter. Trey 6'6", man. 6'6", knockdown, SEC moving around. That team wasn't that great either. For him to be able to get off how he did, that's pretty impressive. I wouldn't be mad they take Trey. My comp for Trey is Booker. You got to think when Booker was in Kentucky, I don't say anybody projected him to turn into what he turned into because he was a lottery pick. But man, they show a lot of the same type of game in my opinion. So let's see. I'll go ahead and give how I'm projecting this to play out. I'm projecting it without any trades. If everything stays the same, we have obviously Cooper. We have Dylan. Who do the Hornets take at 4? I think they take Malawak at 4. I think they've been trying to get off Mark Williams. I think and that's what I think has the Pelicans nervous. If they want to take Malawak, I think that's why they're nervous about it and want to trade up to that position because I think the Hornets take Malawak at 4. I'm hoping Utah does what Utah does and take Khan at 5, and that would leave, man, that leaves you all the options. That leaves you Ace, Trey, or Fizz. You end up with any one of those three, and I think you ended up doing well. It's also got me thinking. There's a lot of stuff before they make the pick. How does any of this affect Willie Green at all? Like, like if they draft say Malawat, and that's an easy that's an easy fit for Willie, in my opinion. I don't really think that player puts pressure necessarily on Willie. Well, Willie has pressure to perform, but it's different if they take a Jeremiah Fears, right? Like Willie hasn't been known to play rookies, especially rookies that's not defense first. So if they took that guy number 7, like, could you imagine if you imagine Willie not playing him? I think a player like that really puts the pressure on Willie and the coaching staff. But a player like Malawi, he's just gonna fit in seamlessly. He's gonna defend. He's gonna run. Like, so I kind of understand the pick, but I'm wondering how any of that affects Willie Green's position and how soon you'll see them judge Willie to a degree. Mm. Like, does he have till Christmas? Interesting, very very interesting. All right, Cooper just went one. Obviously, congratulations to that guy. He's a beast. I think the not only did his college help, but that USA film, that USA film did wonders for him and his as a prospect. Ever since that came out, everybody was just kind of on board with, okay, this guy's gonna be the number one pick in the draft. And once Ace and Rutgers kind of started struggling a little bit, it was pretty much locked up at that point. So pick is in. All right, come on, let's get number 2 out the way. I'm also wondering what San Antonio is doing with their lineups, man. Could them drafting Dylan and having to pay, because Fox extension is coming up, could them having to pay Fox 50 something million, like, could that make Fox available? And if it does, when does it make him available? Would you trade for De'Aaron Fox? I mean, I like Fox game, but I don't know if I could pay him 50 million. Mm, man, all right. San Antonio officially on the clock. The one thing I do like as we pick is in, thank you. They're not using all that time. We already know who the pick's gonna be. Here we go. Come on, announce it. One thing I do like with the new regime, um, the difference between Joe and Griff is, man, Griff did a lot of we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, a lot of lip service. One thing you say about Joe been all action since day one, all action. Even when he's been talking verbally, it's been all action. He came out one like early. I didn't know about a mandate. Okay. Thank you for correcting that. Appreciate you, Grub, for asking the question of being able to get that out there, on wax pretty much. So we get that out the way. He comes out and announces, hey, Willie's gonna be the coach, well, it took him a little while, but you knew pretty early that when they didn't fire him, that hey, okay, Willie's gonna be your guy. But then he came out in the interview and said, okay, yeah, we moving forward with Willie. They got tested with Zion right out the gate. He came out supported, said, yeah, we moving forward with Zion. Zion incident came out. He came out early. Hey, nah, Zion's our guy. We moving forward. I do like that about Joe. About his business, straightforward. Say, hey man, we looking to be aggressive. We love this draft. Swap the pick from next year to this year. Get you somebody that can help. Man, this team need a lot of help. Look at Nico Harrison, man. That's a dude smiling. Oh my God. Say 32. Not the 32 jersey. There we go. San Antonio Spurs are taking Dylan Harper. Get that out the way. Bro, I wish you could kind of watch this on fast forward. Like I'm just ready to get to our pick, get the action in. If they did something out the box and took like Noah Singh, I wouldn't be mad at that either. There's literally no player. I don't want to say no because I don't want the other two Duke players, but there's literally no player that they can take that I would be too upset about. Thank you. And it's got to be exciting. I do like Ace and Dylan supporting each other and clapping it up.
This probably help a defense have some time.
Gotta tap into some of the other shows, man. I seen Pels running they live draft, and then you got, Rocky them doing the spaces. Shout out to all those people, man. Man, I'm excited, bro. I really don't think you can mess this one up. Is more important. I personally don't think I'm kind of the main reason I kind of don't like the Malawak pick with, like, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, is you see bigs get played off the floor all the time, and unless you are a specific type of big, Pascal, Chet, somebody who could dribble past you and protect the rim, then I don't know, man. Your value is not as high to me. Postseason time, at least. Come regular season, you absolutely got value. You need those kind of players during the regular season. The regular season, regular season play and postseason is completely different. And for the Pels, we do need regulars. We need to be able to get to the playoffs consistently. But I want excitement, man. I want to go. Somebody get in there and and feel it somebody come to the blender, bro, and it feel like the blender again. Right now, it's just a Smoothie King Center. I've been a season ticket holder for a while. I had to let my seasons go last year. We knew the season was gonna be tough. They didn't move Brandon, which was be extending Brandon. You just had so many clouds. What was the start lineup gonna be? It was so much going into so many bad vibes going into the season last year. This year feels this year feels clean slate. You know, the only main question we have really, if they would have got rid of if and I know some people be wanting to get rid of Zion, but that's a dude that put butts in the seat, so I kind of understand that one. But if they would have fired Willie and hired a new coach, then I think you would have had. I think the Pels fan base would have been just they would have been cool with whatever happened. To be honest, you could have drafted almost anybody because you could look at it from a clean slate and not having to say, okay, who do we draft because we know this guy doesn't play this guy, or this this player won't thrive in this with this coach. So I wonder how much does Willie being the coach affect who they draft? And I know I said that earlier, but man, it's these main things that just keep coming back. Come on, man. What's the Philly pick? Who the Philly pick? You see me looking down, I'm checking the phone, man. You gotta stay locked in. Cooper with the 32 jersey. So let's say they take Malawak. You got Missy, Malawak, Missy, and Carlo. Young, athletic. That's three different types to a degree. Everybody do three different things. They rotational pieces. All of them gonna run the floor, defend the rim. I think you might still need a veteran, but they could Philly using all the time on the clock. They got Eagle. Pick is him. Come on, man. Who to pick? Look at VJ looking around like it's him. He knows it's him. Boy, staying true right now. What if Adam Silver had to call Shams and be like, "Say, bro, let the actual pick happen first before before you call it in." You know, it's different than the NBA and NFL draft too. Like when I think the people that analyze the NBA draft aren't in love with players. They just kind of assess the players and stuff like that. Like Mel Kiper was catching a lot of slack for all of the support he was giving Shador when he was falling and how people talk about those players. You didn't hear none of that last year, in my opinion, when Cam Ward was falling. Cam Whitmore, I'm sorry, I said Cam Ward. When Cam Whitmore was falling down the board. VJ, okay, good for him, man. Good for VJ. VJ to pick at 3 to Philly. Good job. Athletic, is defender. Got to work on his handling and shot. But out there, man, all you gonna have to do is run the floor, cut. They got enough offensive pieces where you really ain't gonna have to do much. You could just go be yourself. Get time to develop. Okay, here we go. Charlotte at 4. Oh, best thing I like about VJ at 3 is that it was a player that we didn't have to worry about us taking. They're talking about the athletics and whatnot. So I wonder what the Pels targeting. Do we need more athletes? We need size, man. Our team is small. I feel like we get bullied a lot too. The main thing I think we need though is ball handling. You need some. We need. I'm tired of when when teams decide to press us. It's just turnovers. We can't get by anybody. They're physical with us. They bullying us. I know Poole will help with that for sure. Somebody who can easily beat a man off the dribble. You know, break a press at least. Oof. All right, Charlotte on the clock. Come on, Charlotte. Malawat, Khan, one of those two. I think VJ fit Philly, which is he looked like a Philly kind of player, tough. Seemed like he gonna fit that town. Athletic. I could see it you know, once he rise up and catch somebody, he gonna be a fan favorite. Okay, so word ain't in on a trade yet, so maybe it was all talk. I think that's the best thing about watching Charlotte on the clock right now. We haven't seen no reports come in that the Pels are trading up to 4, giving up 7 and 23. All that last minute stuff, man, to try and get people to make moves. You kind of got to do what you got to do as a business. I get it, but as a fan, you just sitting there going through turmoil. You know what I mean? Hmm. Ooh, you gotta. Hmm. Man, I just know they're gonna take the big. Okay. You got illustrated with that 7 figures. It just seemed like it fit. Seemed like it fit. Hmm. Talking about so if, so if you have Malawak, Missy, and those are your bigs, do you have to trade for another big, or do you just believe in those two and just kind of run it with them? Because I mean, you got 30 something minutes between like of size and rim protection and athleticism with those. Here we go. Come on, fourth pick. Let's go. Khan Knipple. Good job. Good job, Hornets. Get you a shooter. Get you some spacing. Got you some size. He can handle the ball. Got you some stability. Like that pick for them. Ooh, Utah, dude. Oh, Utah. Come on, man. Look, they do all that talking about trades. Ain't see none of it happening. Okay, so still no, you shouldn't see Ace here. So you got Trey. So you still got Trey available, Fears available. Yeah, you got Trey available, you got Fears available, Malawak available. Okay, we still in business. My ideal draft is to leave the first round with Fears and Queen, or Fears and Maxine, or Fears and Wolf. Any combination of, or Trey. I'll take Trey as well. I wonder what's the ceiling for Kyle with. Maybe Kyle could bring some stability to LaMelo and stuff like that. Ooh. So you might see. So you're still in a good position. You got Trey available, Trey, Fierce, Ace. Trey Fizz at 8 is gonna get to you at 7. It's got to be one. It's got to be one of them three. God, come on, bro. I think Khan gonna do well in Charlotte. I'm not really sure what the ceiling for Khan is though. I'm glad they took him before he got to us because man, I just don't think Khan. They had a lot of people that wanted Khan here as a Pelican, but I don't think he raised the ceiling at all. Not at all, but like you haven't seen a player like Khan really like become a star or anything like that in the league. Athletically, I don't think it moves the needle for us. Man, get an athlete, man. Come on, Utah. Don't do it to us. Utah, don't do it to us. Ooh. I wonder how far up can the Pelicans get if they do decide to trade back up from 23? Like how high into like can you get as high as 12 or 13 or something like that? I would imagine Atlanta would be willing to make a move, but if reports where they were trading up, then I doubt they're trying to go backwards. I don't know. Yeah. The little last minute announcements, man. They debunked those, putting it out there. We was trading all of that to go up to 4. Obviously not true. Good job, Joe. Stand true. Stand true to your board. Stand true to yourself. If Utah does take a guard, man, if Utah takes a guard, I'm calling Utah immediately. What's up with Collier? Can we get Collier? Especially if you take Fizz. If you take Fizz and you still got Keontae George and let's see. Pick is in. Pick is in. Ooh. All right. Ace say don't send me to Utah. Even when they show him on the screen, he looked terrified. Ooh. I like that they don't show the players reaching for their phones. See how you go. You check X. They're ironing. Utah Jazz iron Ace Bailey with the 5th pick. Sources said, "Ugh, ooh, Ace gonna be sick if that's true." It is. Ace back. Ace to Utah. Fit. No, we still Milwaukee still on the board. There you go, Danny. It's all right. Yeah, could be a swap. You take our guy, we'll take yours. Okay. Ace actually could Ace actually could get that ball out. Like who they got on the wing? Ace Bailey in Utah. You go there and get all those minutes. I actually like that pick for Utah. Ace to Utah. This dude was projected to be the number three pick in the draft. I mean, he started coming down the board like that. You almost gotta take him. Oh man, Milo gonna be the pick, bro. All right, Washington. What do Washington need? You just got all that veteran leadership. You got CJ. You got Smart, Middleton, Bub. They talked all that trash about Ace, man. That dude gonna ball out. Watch. And they got a decent coach out there, I think. Mm. Come on, Jeremiah. Ugh. Yeah, bro, I think. Hmm. I'm interested to see, depending on who they take, how they use them. Like, is the number 7 pick an automatic starter? Is the number 7 pick an automatic starter? I'm all about playing young people, so they might be for me. If I ran your team, you get minutes. Even if you're not a starter, you still gonna be high 20s, 28, something like that. We gonna know right now you're gonna either get the time or you gonna be good. Or we sending you to, if we not playing you, we sending you to the G League out the gate. Go get them reps in. I'm not gonna keep you. That's the one thing I never liked that we did. Sometimes we'll just, instead of sending a player down, we'll just keep them And I understand it to a degree, but we'll keep them on the bench. They won't play, and how not how they supposed to develop, but how they supposed to develop. In my opinion, I think that hindered Jordan Hawkins a little bit too. Like as a shooter, how is he supposed to consistently stay in rhythm? You playing, you're not playing. I know you're a professional, so you're supposed to stay ready, but I think that stuff matters. Send me to the G man so I can get my confidence up. I go get 35 on them dudes and then come back, feeling good about myself. Got into a rhythm. So if I do get some time, I've been working on getting my shots off, game action. Ooh. All right, let's see here. Hmm. Bro, you gotta take the offense. You know how dynamic you'd be if you took. See here. Come on, man. Do Washington take Trey or Fizz? Trey or Fizz? Man, people talking about they happy that we didn't take Ace. Watch Ace become a star. Ace gonna go to Utah with all those ball handlers, with all these balls, where all they gotta do is who they take. Pick is in. Who they take? Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson 6. We on the clock. We on the clock. Man, they gonna take the big, but please take Fizz. Ooh, they looking to play Malawak right now. This gonna be the Malawak pick, man. I'd be thrilled to be wrong, but I think this the pick about to be Malawak. Man, what do Trey got on? What are these? Not the shorts with the tall white socks. It's always shooters that be a little weird, man. Catch and shoot, knock down. That dude gonna be good. Get him. Okay, put him in the East. They got a lot of they got a lot of players for him to learn from. Trey Johnson learning from Middleton and CJ. Oh yeah, Marcus Smart over there for some toughness. Bub Dogs. Bubba Dog. Yeah. Alex Hart started to develop. Washington got some nice little pieces. They got some nice pieces. All right. Now, are we gonna be uh, that dude look focused, man. I know all of those dudes say the same thing. They're gonna do the work and they're gonna, you know, I believe them. Ooh, wouldn't it be shocking if they took Queen? Ooh. Oh man. Look at their team needs rebounding and perimeter defenders. I don't think we need perimeter defenders. Who says that? All right, you on the play. Make this pick the Jeremiah Fizz pick, man. Man, if you take Fizz and then you end up, if you take Fizz, I'm okay with whoever else you take. But I know I keep saying it, but I hate the lift. The coach pick is in. Here we go. Pick is in. Ooh, it's gonna be the big, bro. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be the center. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. You know what it is? Joe got a plan. That boy look like a dog. Woo! Rest easy. Rest easy. Handle, young, potential to grow, get downhill, could develop the shot. Attitude, man said earlier he's the best player in the draft. I love the pick. Love the pick. There you go. Grab that. Yeah. Welcome to the city, man. And you know what else I like? Joe bringing all people with swag and attitude. Swag and attitude. You gotta have attitude to reclass, go to a team by yourself and go be a dog. Scoring point. I'm sorry, Jose, your minute's gone. Hawk, minute's gone. Great pick. Let's go. Say, bro, Joe doing his job. Joe doing his job. Ooh, I love it. Love the pick. I'm resting easy from here on out now. What do you say? Hold on. Gotta turn it up. IQ. Let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah, mom's crying. Yeah, pass out them Pels hats. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Joe said, man, me and Zeke used to get down. Joe Dumas and Zeke used to get down. He said, I got two dogs. Ooh. I love this pick. If you go back and watch Jeremiah Fitz's actual game, not just the highlights, actual game tape, you'll see the patience. You see the patience. You see how he reads the game, got a feel for the game. They can't take it from him, which is another thing. Like most players, most players, bro, most players when you watching them handle the ball, they get trapped. They picking it up during the trap. He always handling through the trap. Can split, can pass. He was a big time shot maker too. Big time shot maker. Got good feel for the game. I like the pick. I like the pick. You need somebody. You need a player like that to shape your future with, man. Absolutely got a great pick right there. We breathing easy. Whoo. It's all cake from here now. We good. We good. We ain't tripping. Rest of the way. I'm excited. Now double back and go get Queen. Double back and go get Queen. Go get your man from DC. Go get that attitude. And so now since you brought in Poole, so now we log jam at the guard spot. So we got Poole, we got Fears. You know they getting burned. You still got Hawk, Jose, Murray. What we doing with Hawk, Jose, Murray? Do you even count Reeves? Do you count Boston? Like, obviously they got moves that still need to be made, but this is a great pick. I think this is a right now and future pick. Man, I might be going to Summer League. I might have the detour and go to Summer League. We literally. I think I'm going to Summer League, man. Matter of fact, I might have to purchase tickets. I might have to start looking at up. Man, I'm definitely getting season tickets, man. We in the building. Catch me in Summer League. This is what I like about it from what Joe's doing. Man, Joe is really bringing attitude and excitement. I ain't been this excited in the Pels fan since what? We drafted Z maybe? Ever since then, it's just been kind of Griff been having you doing this. You get all that out. Ooh, Igor at 8? Ooh. They ain't got nothing to lose. Igor at 8? Jesus. Joe the guy. Joe the guy, bro. He got a plan and he executing. He firing on all cylinders right now. Good for Igor. People was calling him jumping up top 10. All right, so it's Toronto going to take Noah. I'm legit buying jerseys. I gotta get my pool. I gotta get my pool jersey for the pool party. I gotta get my no fears jersey. Listen, we cutting up. Season tickets. I'm buying jerseys. Summer League. Man, I got a birthday coming up. That's what I'm doing for the birthday. I'm going to Summer League. I'm going to Summer League. I'm saying it. Summer League dope, by the way. Let's go. Boy, that season opening for the Pels. Listen, we got to get to the season healthy. We got to get to the season healthy. But Jordan already done a couple things. He got the contracts out the building, the expiring. He's like, oh, what we gonna do? We ain't even gotta worry about CJ no more. We got guard play. We got future potential guard play. He to let you know Z gonna be the guy. Say, bro, we just get to him. We get to the season healthy. Opening night gonna be popping. Ooh. Ooh. So we got, as of right now, Missy's still your starter, but Malawak's still on the board. Who the second pick gonna be? Who the second pick gonna be? You could pick anywhere now. You could do anything. Bruh. So this was the kind of pick that we was talking about. So now you got Jordan Poole, you got Jeremiah Fizz, and with the log jam at guard. How does like how does Willie proceed? Man, I can't imagine Joe being okay with Willie playing Jose over Jeremiah Fizz night one, right? Night one, maybe in the preseason, we're gonna see. Let's say he has a good preseason. He looked good in the preseason. He looked good in summer league. Looked good in preseason. They're like, oh, this guy really could play, right? First game of the season come. I don't expect him to start, right? I expect him to go with Poole. So you got Poole, and we still don't know what move's gonna be made, but you got Poole, Trey, Z, Herb, Missy. Let's assume that's the start lineup. Bob sub, first guard off the bench. Jose Alvarado over the number 7 pick in the draft. Say, bro, Joe in the building, like, what we doing here? What we doing here? Man, you got so much flexibility right now, too. Jesus. You got so much flexibility. I'm excited. Man, I gotta start planning my I gotta start planning my summer league trip, man. Gotta start looking for my room, you know. Gotta make sure I go out there with my jersey, get my Pels jersey right. I just need to see who else we gonna be cheering for. You know, who Toronto taking? It don't matter. Pels night, man. We lit. Joe really went in the off season. Man, I think that dude. Man, it feels so good to have some actual people that could dribble the ball. Oh my gosh. Z, you gotta bring it up the flow. No, we got guards for that. You actually could run some actual offense. You ain't gotta force Trey in the isolation trying to break down the defense, doing all that extra. What a great pick, man. I'm happy. I'd be happy them taking a swing too. Hey. So now I'm about to be up all night watching more Jeremiah Fierce film. See how we could. That's one thing I like to do. I kind of like to see not only the player, but how can we properly use the player based on what it is that we do. Kyler Murray Boys, good play, good draft, good draft. Murray Boys was a beast. South Carolina. I don't know about the jumper, but the dude know how to get buckets. Ooh, man, you got so much flexibility now that you ain't got to worry about that aspect of the game. You don't. It don't matter what you do with Murray at this point. He come back, he don't. You move him. It really don't matter. You could get off. You could get off that money. So are we looking for another shooter? No, not a shooter, but I mean, so I wonder what happens with Hawk now. But I think this take less pressure off Hawk. Think about it. When Hawk come into the game, they be having Hawk playing point guard. Man, we ain't got time for Hawk to be handling the ball. You put that man in position to run around, catch and shoot. That's if you keep him. That's what I like about certain picks, man. You take certain players to help maximize other players. Like it's hard to take an athletic big when you don't have guards that could throw a lob or run an effective pick and roll. Or how we gonna run plays for Hawkins, your shooter supposed to be coming off screens, and nobody can handle the pressure. You can't beat a man off the dribble. Nobody can isolate and score and make you worried about them with the ball in their hand other than Z and now Trey. Nobody really creating for anybody else. I think the two guards you brought in and Poole and Fears give you that. Absolutely give you that. Oh man. Listen, whenever they make their next pick, I'm out. Whenever they make their next pick, I'm out. If they do something crazy, we have to tap back in or something. I don't know. But man, I wonder what Willie thinking right now. Are you excited because you got more talent, or are you nervous because now you got to draw up a system to try and figure out how to use it? Phoenix on the clock. You got to take Milo. You need Phoenix. Phoenix would be insane not to take Milo. Bro, Jeremiah Fears is what 18, just turning. That dude would be a high school senior. That's insane. I think he got room to grow, but you really have an opportunity for that dude in these couple years if he show any promise, bro, to be. I think he's gonna be able to contribute now, but definitely if he in a year or two, Yeah. Man, go get your Isaiah Thomas, Joe. Dog. Oh my gosh, should be saucing people. Right, it's going y'all don't understand how exciting it's gonna be in how exciting it's gonna be in the blender. It's really bad. It's the blender again. Z a highlight, Pool a highlight, Fears a highlight, Missy highlight, Trey. Oh, these games gonna be exciting. Joe said if we're gonna do anything, they're gonna be like, man, that team competes. He did that. People talking about the turnovers, Jeremiah Fears turnovers. I'm not that concerned about the turnovers, to be honest. I think it's hard for as much as he had to handle the rock, right? He was one of the only offensive threats on the Oklahoma team, right? You gonna have a lot of turnovers when you got all the responsibility. You have to score, you have to create, you got to handle the pressure. I don't think that's necessarily his responsibility right away. And as he improves, I think he'll be able to keep it down. And then again, if you do average 3 or 4 turnovers, if you turn into a 9, 10 assist guy, if you give me 20 and 10, I'm living with that. Obviously not year one, but you turn into one of those type of people, hey bro, you can have 3, 4 turnovers. I start looking up. I start looking up summer league. Man, his team starting to take shape. His team starting to take. It's really exciting when the draft break the way you want it to break. And now look, if the pick hypothetically, let's say the pick don't work out, I'm still cool with it because they took one of the high. They took a risk. This is obviously the pick. Come on, Milo. You have to. That had to be the pick. Good job for him. But they did not settle when they took the pick. They didn't play, in my opinion, they didn't play it safe. I think Malawak would have been playing it safe. They didn't do that. Ooh. But at this point, I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready to just speed through the draft now. You still got a lot of options available. I wonder if they really still love Queen, do you target him? I don't think he falls at 23. If you sitting there at 23, are you worried? Are you excited about Maxine? Do you go big or do you go wing? You can always use another wing. Wings win in the league. Guards and wings. I think Danny Wolf should be the move too. 7 footer, shoot, handle, rebound, run the floor. It's gonna be interesting. You know what? Looking at it, I think I'm very intrigued as to what happens the rest of the way in the draft. But I think I'm gonna call it. We'll probably do a. I appreciate anybody who pulled up and showed up for the first episode. In the blender, you know what I mean? Pels in the blender, and we'll get some more stuff moving forward. We'll get a little bit more situated and stuff going on going forward. But this will be my opinions. We'll have some guests sometimes on the show, but this will be my opinions on things that go on with the Pels and how they proceed moving forward. And some of my takes might be a little out the box, but I think they have some logic behind them as well. So I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Jeremiah feels the pick number 7. We'll be looking back for number 23 or if there's any moves to be made. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.